Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take the sources you share, dig in, and pull out the stuff that really makes you think. Today we're heading to Hamro Gaun. It's this village in Nepal. Looks pretty traditional at first glance.
Yeah, but looks can be deceiving, right?
Yeah.
Your sources paint this picture. Ancient banyan trees, sure, but also drip irrigation, refrigerated mango exports, even 5G tutors for the kids. It's this real mix of old and hyper new.
Exactly. And right in the middle of that mix, a very, very modern kind of conflict. We're looking at Bhuvan Singh, the local strongman. The guy running things through fear, skimming cash.
The classic patronage machine, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And on the other side, this group of young, tech-savvy, community-focused leaders. And this deep dive, it's not just about them protesting. It's about how they actually, prototyped a whole new micro-government right under Singh's nose.
Mm-hmm. And that's the core of it. You've got this visible, entrenched corruption bumping up against this attempt at, nonviolent, totally transparent administration. Our job here is to unpack how they built it. The specific tools, the civic tech, even the applied physics they use.
And the charters. Those innovative charters that made fairness stick.
Exactly. They didn't just win a fight. They built a better system to govern. That's the fascinating part.
Okay, let's quickly sketch out the key players, because this wasn't just a random group. It was almost like a special ops team for civic duty.
Huh. Yeah, kind of. You had Maya, the strategist. The sources always mention her with a notebook, always thinking 5 steps ahead. The planner.
And Arjun, he's the tech guy. Drones, the mesh network. That network was crucial, right? It allowed them to communicate off the grid.
Totally independent. And Shanti, she brought the philosophical core. Plus, she ran the health clinic. So it wasn't just about fighting. It was about care, about well-being.
And you need muscle sometimes, or at least a physical presence.
Yeah.
That was Prakash, the wrestler. His strength, but also his, moral clarity. He was key in those physical standoffs.
Definitely. And then there's Master G, the school teacher. You could argue who is the linchpin for the whole administrative side, keeping those public ledgers meticulously. That gave them legitimacy.
We can't forget Iqbal Sheikh either, the mechanic.
Oh, absolutely, Iqbal. The engineering brain, the water cannons, the magnets, the rigging for defenses. He knew how things worked, machines, physics, both for building and for resisting.
Yeah. It shows they really understood this wasn't just about being brave. You needed the technical skills, the physical presence, and the admin chops to actually replace what Singh represented.
It was a multidisciplinary approach.
Okay, let's set the stage with the problem. Bhuvan Singh, sitting in his, the sources say, garishly painted concrete mansion.
Yeah, it's sort of a symbol of his control, right?
Yeah.
And he's literally counting cash skimmed from mango crates, from government contracts, everything.
He wasn't exactly hiding it, but it was behind closed doors, and he was arrogant about it. There's that quote.
Oh, yeah. Do you think children with phones can touch this? Do you think hashtags can remove me? Something like that. He truly believed his power was untouchable because it was physical cash, concrete, and hidden from direct view.
So the youth group, led by Maya, they figured out pretty fast that the old ways wouldn't cut it. Just complaining under the banyan tree wasn't going to work against economic theft.
Right. The tree couldn't speak loudly enough. So Maya's insight was shift to evidence. Hard, visible evidence.
Her doctrine, basically. If he takes, we show it. If he lies, we show it. If he beats, we show it.
Exactly. Don't attack the power directly. Attack the secrecy it needs to survive. Make it visible.
And the first big test of this comes at the Haat Bazaar, the weekly market, right? The heart of the village economy. Singh's guys are there, collecting their usual illegal fees.
Yeah, everyone knows it's just extortion, but they pay. Until this time.
Maya and Prakash step up, but it's not a brawl. It's about documentation. Arjun's flying this tiny drone.
It's like pocket-sized.
Yeah. And he projects the feed onto the wall of a T-skull, a big white wall. And the feed shows.
Singh himself, days earlier in his mansion, counting the skimmed money. The exact money his thugs are collecting right now.
Genius.
Yeah.
Pure genius. Because it's immediate, it's undeniable. The crowd reaction is key here. First shock, then whispers.
Then laughter. And curses. Seeing the theft laid bare like that, it strips the thief of his power, his dignity. It's not scary anymore. It's just pathetic.
And the strongmen, they hesitated. They were used to fear and silence, not being the main attraction and a public shaming. The rules just changed on them.
The whole village became a witness, united in that moment.
And Shanti seals it. Sees the hesitation and just starts singing. A simple bhajan, a devotional song.
Which is so smart. It centers the moment not on anger, but on, shared values, spiritual unity. It turns the crowd from scared individuals into this connected, righteous community.
And the thugs backed off. The cost of pushing further was suddenly too high.
That night, under the banyan tree, they realize it's not just about tearing down Singh anymore, it's about building what comes next. Arjun says something like, if we fight, we must also lead.
If we expose, we must also create.
Right. Transparency was the spark, yeah, but the real goal was stewardship, building something better.
Okay, so Singh loses round 1, the digital one. He falls back on what he knows best. Raw intimidation.
Yeah. The very next afternoon, his men target Ramji Kiwat, an old farmer, respected, who'd spoken up. They beat him publicly. The message is clear. Don't forget who's boss. Fear still works.
But this is where Prakash steps in, the wrestler. Singh's men are trying to make an example of Kiwat, break the community spirit.
And Prakash literally puts his own body on the line, steps in front of the old man, shouts, hit me instead.
Takes these heavy Lathi blows, and the Lathi is no joke. It's a serious weapon, often iron-tipped, hits to the ribs, the shoulder. The crowd gasps.
Pure fear at first, but then the turning point. Prakash catches the Lathi mid-swing, catches it, wrenches it away.
And snaps it clean across his knee. That sound, the crack of the wood, it changes everything. The gasp turns into this roar. Awe. Defiance, maybe.
Definitely defiance. It showed that Singh's symbol of power, the Lathi, was breakable, that his violence wasn't absolute.
So that gives them moral high ground, but they know they can't just outfight Singh's thugs indefinitely. Which leads to the next incident, the attempt to grab Master Ji, the school teacher.
Singh maybe senses the ledgers are becoming important, that Master Ji holds a key.
Could be. So his goons move on the school teacher.
Yeah.
And this is where the tech and the physics really combine.
Arjun was ready. He had this audio recording ready to go on a micro SD card. Not just noise, but the actual voice of the district police superintendent from a news clip, sounding very official.
Giving commands, right? Like units to the east gate, secure the site, cameras rolling.
Exactly. And using their mesh network, because who knows if the cell towers are reliable, Arjun blasts this phantom call from a drone.
That simulated police presence, sounding official and immediate, it panics the thugs. Gives Prakash the opening he needs to disarm their leader.
But they still need to get Master Ji out. Enter Iqbal, the mechanic. First move, cuts the power nearby, plunges everything into darkness.
Tactical darkness, brilliant. And then Shanti deploys the water whip.
Which is just a heavy-duty rubber hose, the kind used for water pumps.
Yeah.
But they rig it somehow to create a high-pressure jet.
It's non-lethal, but incredibly effective.
Yeah.
Blinds them, disorients them instantly. Doesn't break bones, just stops the attack cold.
Allows them to just melt away. And the escape itself is described so well in the sources. They move like water down an irrigation canal, wading through a shallow part, using the landscape they know.
And that detail about Shanti. Midstream, in the middle of this escape, she pauses, holds the Virabhadrasana, the warrior pose from yoga.
Yeah, it's not just showing off, it's a statement. Finding stability, calm, control, right in the middle of the chaos. It sends a message to everyone watching. We are resisting, yes, but we are centered. We have a moral compass.
That really sums up their whole approach, doesn't it? It's not just about winning. It's about how you win. Maintaining that balance, even with Lathis swinging and water cannons firing. So the physical stuff ramps up, but it actually just fuels the digital fire. The hashtag Haat Revolt hashtag.
Yeah.
It starts simply, canefully simple.
A boy named Ramesh posts a photo, just the bruises on his father's body after one of those confrontations.
And that image, that raw, visible proof of violence, it just explodes, goes viral across Nepal. Students in Pokhara see it, farmers down in Chitwan.
And crucially, the Nepali diaspora. Workers, students scatter across the globe, Qatar, Dubai, everywhere. Suddenly, this isn't just a village dispute, it's an international movement.
Yeah, the source called it flesh, fire, and song, amplified by fiber optics. Singh is suddenly facing something he can't hit. He apparently scoffed. They revolt against me, so they admit I am king.
Classic denial. But his control was clearly slipping. You had Nepalis overseas holding silent yoga protests, mimicking Shanti's warrior pose. That's political pressure he couldn't ignore.
And that global spotlight brings in, well, royalty, sort of. The Dubai princess, a really influential Nepali figure from the diaspora, shows up with a whole convoy.
And international media trailing right behind her. Suddenly, Hamro Gaun is on the world stage.
Singh, ever the performer, tries to play the welcoming host. Shows up, gold chains and all, ready to shake hands, put on a show of authority.
Big mistake. The sources make it sound like a movie scene. She just ignores his outstretched hand, completely blanks him.
And then the line, delivered right there for the cameras, I do not shake hands with thieves.
Ouch! That moment, Singh's face shifting from host to humiliated bully, captured by global media that just shattered his image of untouchability. Huge blow.
And this pressure cooker leads Maya to her next big idea. Fighting with mangoes and machines, weaponizing the supply chain itself.
Yeah, this is where it gets really sophisticated. Administrative warfare. The plan. Make every single mango traceable. From the tree it was picked from all the way to, the palace or the export market.
Using blockchain, right? Or at least the principles of a public immutable ledger.
Exactly. A system where the weight, the price, the transit points, it's all recorded publicly. If Singh tries to skim his usual 10% off the top,
the discrepancy shows up instantly. For the whole world, or at least the whole market, to see. You can't hide the theft if the ledger is public and perfect.
And Shanti again grounds it philosophically. Truth as light, machines as mirrors. The tech isn't for attacking, it's for revealing. Let the light expose the rot.
Perfect transparency makes corruption impossible, or at least incredibly difficult and obvious.
So Singh, seeing his money threatened and his reputation trashed, he doubles down on violence. The princess leaves behind a scholarship fund and a warning, but Singh hires professionals. Ex-soldiers from across the border. Hired goons.
And their mandate is clear. Break this revolt with force. With blood, as the sources say. So now it's transparent logistics versus outsourced professional violence. Okay, so the hired guns arrive. First move, make life impossible. Siege tactics. They scatter caltrops, broken glass all over the main road, the market square, try to shut down trade, movement.
Make it dangerous just to walk around. Basic intimidation 101.
But the village response is, well, it's amazing. Not fighting back directly, but radical cooperation. They basically turn into their own public works department.
Brooms, shovels, and Iqbal's invention. The magnet drag poles. Old speaker magnets on bamboo sticks. Ingenious low-tech solution for picking up caltrops and metal shards.
And everyone pitches in. Kids, grandfathers.
Yep.
They become the road maintenance crew. They become the road, in a way. There's that incredible moment with the ambulance.
Yeah, carrying a woman in labor blocked by the glass. And the villagers just spontaneously start clearing a path, sweeping, putting down their own shawls.
The road became religion. That phrase is powerful. Maintaining that shared space, that infrastructure, became a sacred act, more important than fear.
Singh then tries a different tactic. Tries to co-opt the Mela, the big market festival. Sets up this huge, flashy stage, voice of development, trying to drown them out with noise and propaganda.
Classic move. Control the narrative, control the space.
But the youth have their counterplay ready. Asymmetric warfare again. 4 drones rise up. Quietly. Rigged with projectors, LEDs.
And what do they project? Videos of Singh's actual corruption. Evidence countering his lies right there above the crowd, plus the hashtag Haat Revolt, hashtag flashing.
Undermining his message in real time, and then the low-tech attacks. Arjun uses a drone to blast concentrated light into the goon's eyes, disorienting. Another drone drops.
A sack of chili powder.
Yeah. Super effective, non-lethal, cheap crowd control, causes chaos among the hired guns.
And the crowd, seeing the thugs confused, seeing the truth projected above them, they get emboldened. They fight back with what they have. Market tools.
A fish seller apparently threw a carp. A tea vendor threw kettles.
Yeah, it becomes this spontaneous, almost carnivalesque resistance. And the youth win the night. They take back the Mela. The social heart of the village is theirs now.
So, with the physical space secured, they shift to locking down the administrative ground. Maya starts drawing literal lines in the dust with chalk, marking out zones of their authority.
Singh tries to challenge them on that ground. Says something like, you want debate, let's debate. Still thinking in terms of old-style politics?
But Maya completely reframes it. She says, we don't want a state that is father or mother, meaning not this paternalistic, personality-driven thing Singh represents.
We want a state that is a good, tool-sharp, visible, clean.
That's the revolution right there. Governance as a functional utility, not as charismatic power. It should work cleanly, reliably.
And she follows it with that principle. We will be boring when possible.
And brave when necessary. Right. Good governance should be boring, predictable. Bravery is only needed when corruption forces you to defend the system.
Okay, so they're building this system, but then the old system tries to bite back. Inspector Jal, the local police inspector who's maybe a bit sympathetic or just pragmatic,
Sees the writing on the wall, perhaps?
he tips them off. Warrants are coming from the district capital, Janakpur. For Maya, Arjun, Iqbal. Arrest warrants.
Their response is key. Intercept, not destroy. Reveal, not erase. Don't fight the legal system head-on. Absorb it and expose it.
So Iqbal uses his magnet system again, those big magnets on poles, performs a polite stop on the government jeep carrying the clerk with the warrants. No violence, just stopping them.
Well, Shanti does this small ritual, tying saffron threads on the core team's wrists, a symbol of unity, commitment.
And then Maya confronts the clerk, forces him under the watchful eye of Arjun's live-streaming drone to read the warrants out loud.
Naming the names Maya, Arjun, Iqbal, detailing the charges, all broadcast live.
They photograph everything. So Singh's legal weapon, intended to operate in secret, becomes public proof of his attempt to crush dissent. Proof of his rot, as they called it.
And the final confirmation of the shift in power. A policeman escorting the clerk agrees to walk with him back to the banyan tree for safety. He implicitly recognizes that the youth zone is now the safer, more orderly place. The state bureaucracy is starting to adapt.
All right, they've defended their space, weathered the legal attack. Now it's time to make it official, institutionalize it.
Exactly. They form the String and Stone Cooperative Society, LTD, right there under the banyan tree. The name itself is significant: string for connection, craft, stone for permanence, foundation.
And this is where we get into the real innovations, the heart of this deep dive, the actual tools of their new governance.
First up, the transparency wall. This wasn't just some bulletin board. Physical ledgers, yes, meeting minutes, expenses, all out in the open, but also QR codes next to everything.
So you could scan the code with your phone?
And it takes you straight to the secured digital record, linking the physical reality to the immutable digital truth. No hiding.
Then there's the promise scale. This might be the most brilliant piece, a literal physical steel scale, like the kind you'd use for weighing grain.
And its purpose was to weigh abstract claims against concrete evidence. So if Singh's remnants tried to impose a curfew just by shouting about it,
Master G, or whoever was officiating, would demand something tangible to put on the scale. What's the evidence? Is there a printed court order? A police receipt showing the notice was properly posted? Maybe a decibel log proving a public announcement was made?
if you can't put something physical on the scale representing the abstract claim, then the claim weighs nothing. It's invalid. It forces power to be accountable in a really concrete, visible way.
Amazing. They also formalized their own surveillance, the big balloon they had tethered over the square under the Sky Charter.
Which laid out clear rules, altitude limits, public markings so everyone knew it was their community watch, not some secret police thing. Even detailed the knots used for the tether's bowline, clove hitch for safety and transparency and maintenance.
And they built defense right into the charter, using thick, dyed string for the tethers.
An iron sleeve slipped over the string at key points. Why? To resist manja, that glass-coated kite string Singh's guys might use to try and cut the balloon down. Defense, but public and procedural.
They also set down day-to-day rules. The day charter, how trade operates, keeping the lane to Shanti's clinic clear and quiet, ensuring the market stays open.
And the night charter. Safety protocols, bell codes for warnings or communication, people walking in groups with lanterns, and using Iqbal's magnet-on-wheels contraption to sweep for any new nails or glass scattered overnight.
It's incredibly comprehensive. Logistics, safety, transparency, defense, all codified.
And this whole system gets its ultimate test when Singh makes his last big, desperate move.
He brings in heavy machinery, cranes, winches, even a battering ram, aiming to physically destroy the market stalls, maybe even damage the banyan tree itself. Industrial-scale violence.
But the community is ready. Not with weapons, but with physics.
Oh.
Coordinated physics orchestrated by Iqbal and Prakash to counter the ram, the parade sail.
Which isn't a solid wall, right?
Yeah.
It's a network of ropes designed to bow and flex.
Exactly. It absorbs and dissipates the momentum gradually rather than trying to stop it dead, which might break everything. Clever engineering.
And they tighten those ropes using the Spanish windlass. Simple machine, huge advantage. Twisting rope around a bamboo pole lets a few people generate immense tension, enough to hold back machinery.
And against the crane, even simpler. Sugar and sand mixed into a paste, smeared under the crane's treads.
Just gums it up, kills the traction.
Yep. Low-tech sabotage makes the high-tech industrial machine useless. Community physics beats brute force.
And the victory isn't about destroying Singh's machines. It's procedural. His men simply cannot operate. They can't stop trade. They can't break any of the rules laid out in the charters without looking like chaotic thugs against an orderly system.
They're forced to just give up, publicly defeated by a superior organization. And the sources mention the regular laborers Singh hired to run the machines. They end up just sweeping leaves. Hired for violence, end up doing civic maintenance. Poetic.
After that, it's about cementing the win. Economic independence first. The cold spine.
Their own logistics chain. They hire 2 refrigerated vans named Janaki and Saryu, nice touch, and start shipping their mangoes out through a different route, Burgunj to Kolkata, Dubai, completely bypassing Singh's depot.
Cut off his money, cut off his power.
Precisely. And then formalizing the governance. A secret ballot election for a provisional council, with quotas for women, for youth, baked right in.
And the oath they take. Over the promise scale itself, just one sentence.
We move by consent, not convenience.
That says it all, really. Governance based on agreement, not on what's easy for the person in charge.
And the official state. They basically have to acknowledge reality. Under Secretary Rana, Superintendent Quarella, they see this community code is working, it's organized, it's predictable, it's less violent than Singh's regime.
So they recognize it, not because it's morally perfect maybe, but because it's just better management, more efficient.
Pragmatism wins. And the final piece, Inspector Jaha retires from the police force.
But he comes back as the civilian ombuds. Sets up shop under the banyan tree with a red-green grievance box. Red for new complaints, green for solved ones.
He shifts from being an agent of state power to an agent of community accountability. A beautiful full circle.
And the legacy. The market stays open. Singh Stolbe drives away, defeated by spreadsheets and systems, not by guns. Watching a village square that literally turned itself into a government that remembered it was a market first. Hashtag ad outro. So when you step back and look at the Banyan Revolt, it's really something. It wasn't about seizing power in the traditional sense. It was a revolution of stewardship.
They didn't tear down the state. They just built a better, more transparent, more public version of it right under the old one, under their tree.
And that principle Maya laid out, democracy should be boring when possible and brave when necessary. They actually achieved it. When the systems work, when the ledgers are open, when the rules are clear.
The drama and chaos of corruption just can't find fertile ground. It gets squeezed out by sheer, boring competence.
If there's one mechanism to really remember from this, it's the promise scale, that idea of way.
Yeah. Forcing abstract power, a whispered threat, a bureaucratic delay, a curfew to meet concrete proof. The receipt, the logbook, the actual bell being rung, making accountability physical.
Which leads to the final thought, maybe. The state officials, Rana and Koirala, they went along with the community code, partly because it was just better organized, more effective, less chaotic than Singh.
Right. So in our world, flooded with information is the ultimate weapon against tyranny, not necessarily an army or a charismatic leader or even a viral hashtag, but maybe just a perfectly itemized public ledger.
What happens when accountability itself becomes a more efficient, more powerful tool for governing than brute force or hidden deals?
That's the question Hamro Gaun leaves us with, isn't it? The real revolution might just be in the paperwork, in the systems.
Something for all of us to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, great discussion.
We'll see you next time.